And what was the biggest challenge you faced as an actor?
Ever?
Yeah.
Probably being on TV. Because it's so, at the start, it was so different, and, you know, doing theater. I don't know, that's probably not the biggest challenge. I don't know. What's yours?
I don't, I mean, I guess I would have said the Globe, but I mean, but yeah. There's certain writers that I find to be more challenging. Like, you know, I do find, I find Shakespeare to be a challenge that, you know, every role in that, just because it's not the way the speech is, and it's not just Shakespeare, but any speech that is so different than, you know, what we're used to. And I love that we were both, you know, theatrically trained, and yet we come into, you know, this business that's all about, that's not what we're going out for on a day-to-day.
No.
You know,
I mean, I really wish that there was much more film and television training in schools than there is, because unless you do musical theater, you're not going to make a living, or you're very rarely going to make a living in theater in the United States. Really the only way is film or television, and you know, and all of the American, or most of the American, like establishments are very theater based. You know, I haven't said a line of Shakespeare since I got out of college, unfortunately, but I haven't.
So basically, when you were writing soap opera, you really learned on the job how it was working. I mean, you know, this particular industry, it wasn't something that you were.
We had one class senior year of an on-camera class where we actually had, it was the same setup with 3 cameras and everything, and we had like a little studio, but yeah, it was very. I mean, I remember when I first started, and there was the boom mics up, and it was just so like. Gosh, and I remember my first scene there. I was with John Hensley, I think, and he was like, "You want to run lines?" I was like, "Okay." And then the hair and makeup people start coming in and like touching your face and stuff, and and you're like, oh, "What are all these people doing here?" You know, there's just so many people around, and you don't know when your camera is on and when you're not on.
I was lucky to have had him. I mean, honestly, I feel like you know, he helped me a lot, especially in those early periods.
Yeah, because I mean, it's very different in the early periods on the show, like, because you come in and you're completely memorized, and you know, it's the way to do it. You go to rehearsal and you don't even bring your script with you, and now like we have our scripts within 5 feet of us at all times, even when we're shooting the scene. You know, it's just there on the floor, and then in between scenes, you take it, you look at your next scene, you run the lines, you do it again, you do the next scene. You know, but when you first start, I just don't think you know, you come as prepared as you can, and realistically, you can't be that prepared and be sane every day when you're shooting this.
I've got a question for you, Jake. Van said in the past that he never watched soap operas growing up. Were you familiar with soap operas?
No, I mean, my mom watched, you know, my mom and my sister watched General Hospital every now and then, but I never watched a full episode. No, never once. I mean, I remember having it be on, but I was, you know, I was younger and I was just watching other stuff.
It's quite common for actors to go from one soap to another. If you were to play on another soap, what show would you like to be? You know?
I like As the World Turns.
Yeah.
I think it's a really great group of people, you know, in front of the screen and behind the camera. It's really wonderful. I guess I would say, I haven't really watched any other soaps. But I've seen like Emmy tapes and stuff, and I think Young and the Restless is pretty good. I think I'd like to be on that, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I think I'd like to. I've met so many other, you know, great people just, you know, at events and stuff. I can say I'd like to. There's many actors I can say I'd like to work with.
Yeah, but with how many soaps like switch around actors, you probably will get working on.
Yeah.
You know, like Forbes was on One Life.
Yeah, totally.
Do you have good luck charms when you go to an audition? or some kind of routine?
I mean, preparation.
Yeah.
Then, you know, I find nothing makes me feel more, nothing will make me feel comfortable in the room unless
Unless you've done the work.
unless you've really done the work.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Apart from As the World Turns, are you working on other projects right now?
Not the moment.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta get cast. That's the that's the trick.
You'll hear about it.
Yeah. Well, you never will.
Is there a French actor or French director you would like to work with, or are you?
Well, there's not many that I know, but
Yeah.
I do know are really. I mean, you know.
That woman who won, what's her name, who won the Academy Award?
Marion Cotillard.
That was one of the most fantastic performances I've ever seen.
I like Luc Besson.
Luc Besson. The hot Jeopardy.
No, but I wish I could say. I mean, there's probably directors that are more. I just don't. I wish I could. I feel amiss for not for not knowing more. But I do know that there's some really great French cinema. You know,
Yeah.
that I've seen.
Yeah. Well, I guess then you have to.
I have to bone up on.
Catherine Deneuve.
Is that right?
Deneuve. Deneuve.
I guess you just have to learn French to
Yeah.
audition this year.
He speaks French, sort of. I don't.
So we guys.
Segue.
That was a nice transition.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, I know.